just know that it is great to say no sometimes. I know I had to grow into that. And I know, my wife also had to grow into that, because she is a person that likes to, help out a lot of people. And we both have that. She does it a lot more than I do. But being able to tell people, no, you can't do something, even though, you might hurt their feelings or, whatever it may be, your peace got to come first. Mm-hmm. Your family has to come first. Everything that you're doing has to come before anybody else outside of the norm of your household. So it's okay to tell somebody no. Your job asks you, hey, can you stay an extra hour to do this? Communicate that first with your spouse.
Yes.
Before you say anything, because, that can be trouble, and if your spouse is not cool with that, and let your people know, hey, I can't work an extra hour, I got to go home and take care of my kids or my wife, whatever it may be. Don't be afraid to say no. Yeah.
We are the Millennial family. What's millennial?
What's up, family? We hope everybody's doing well. We just want to welcome you back to Season 2, Episode 1 of The Millennial Family. And we're your hosts. I'm G Sharp, and this is...
She Sharp.
And, of course, our goal is to shine light on a generation with a bad rap.
Yes, so we are kicking Season 2 off with a relevant topic for our listeners. That is how to balance work life and parenting like a pro, and if it's even possible. Recent studies have found that millennials are the hardest working generation out there. So we want to help you make sure that you have a good work-life balance.
That's right. So basically, let's start defining what work balance is.
Okay.
All right. So a work-life balance is basically where hardworking people manage their time spent either at work or outside of work. And so we just have to figure out what's best for your household, what's best for our household when it comes to the work life.
Right. And work-life balance includes your, as you said, your job, but also outside your job, it includes your family, your personal time, and your, what do they call the forever friends? It's a new term for it they came up with.
I don't know. Best friends forever? I don't know.
Chosen friends. You said it. So, yeah. So, G-Shop, what's your take on work-life balance? Like, is it possible?
I think it is possible, but you have to be very strategic with your balance, I know from, our experiences, we do a lot of strategic planning, because our family, can be busy at times, and so we don't want to make, we want to make the best of the time that we do have with each other. So,
right.
Yeah. So I think that, it is very possible. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I agree. I would say if I had to, paint a picture of work-life balance, I would think of a pie chart, where having work-life balance doesn't mean that every part is equal.
Correct.
I believe like the biggest part should be God and your family.
Yep.
And then, your job, your career have a chunk of that. Your friends have a chunk of that. And of course, your extended family.
Yeah.
And hobbies.
Yeah.
So,
Agreed.
Yeah. So on a radio station, we listened to Abe Hamilton III. He'd often start his episode off with, you're leaving your part-time job on the way to your full-time job.
Yeah.
And you're listening to this show. And so what he meant by that is that you're leaving your 9 to 5 and you're going home to your family. Yeah. So although like on paper, on our contract, it says that our 9 to 5 is actually our full-time job, Abe Hamilton was actually making it clear that our family is truly our full-time job. Yeah. And if you switch your mindset to that gear, it'll give you like that second wind that you need.
So C-Sharp, do you think we have a good work-life balance?
I do, G-Sharp. I really do. And I guess in this next section, we can share why.
Okay.
Because a lot of these things we actually implement. But I will say, I think the most important thing to have is good communication.
Yeah.
Intentional communication with each other. So.
Yeah. I think that is key to, any relationship that you have, communication should be one of the number one things that, you should be able to be fluent at, because that can either make or break a relationship. It can break a friendship, a bond, with anybody, So communication is key to having a successful marriage, a successful work life, successful friendship. So work on that.
I agree, because 9 times out of 10, like, majority of the disagreements we get into they stem from misunderstanding.
Yeah.
And so, like you said, if we are communicating clearly and we're being intentional about it and we're both having the same understanding, then it cancels out confusion.
Okay. Well, we can talk about some of the things that we do to communicate, right?
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, one of the things that we do that is like our foundation is the fact that we prioritize our responsibilities. And so with that, we agree that God is the first in our family, and then it's our spouse, and then our children, and then the job and the ministry, etc.
Yeah, being able to have a hierarchy or an order, is key. And the same thing in every relationship, you have to have priorities. What comes first, and then next, So, of course, for us, God, and then us, then our kids, and then our jobs, And I would say the thing about us is we don't bring any work home. Like being stress-free and leaving everything. I don't really stress out on my job, but, being stress-free on, leaving all that behind you and coming home and being present at your house is important, and I can speak from just, being a father, I have friends that, parents weren't always there for them, and, the things that they would wish sometimes is, that their father was around more or their mother was around more, and being a parent, you have to leave everything else, and meet the needs of your children, But what comes first before that is the needs of your spouse, So you don't want to be the spouse that is here but not here. You want to be here, be present, enjoy the moment, spend time with each other. And that's how you get better communication. You have conversations, you talk, you spend time together to know and understand the other person. So I think we do a good job of that.
Yeah, definitely, like putting the electronics down and having that face-to-face interaction is so good. And I learned from John and Lisa Bevere, who have 4 boys, 4 adult men now, that first of all, they're an Italian family. And so they would sit around the dinner table every night, and they would eat together and have that face-to-face interaction. And that's actually the number one way to bond with your family.
Yeah. We sit around a square table or a rectangle table.
For now.
For now.
I want a round table.
But we do make the time to spend with our kids, while they're sitting at the table. We'll be sitting at the counter and we're all in the same room, eating, ask them about their day, try to see what's up, talk to my wife, how was your day,
Yeah, I think G-Sharp and I, we do an incredible job, like just touching bases. Like, it's so natural for us to ask and genuinely care about how each other's day has been. Yeah. And even throughout the day, like on our lunch breaks and stuff, we touch bases with each other. We have these touch points where both of us will check in, with each other or send each other a kissing emoji or something like that. And so we're still connecting, although we're not together. Yeah. And so, that helps. Yeah. And so also, like, with having the hierarchy, I think this is just so important, too, because if I know that God is the center of our marriage, and I have different pressures that I'm facing from work, or even just some outside relationships, friendships, on my way home, I can give that to the Lord. That helps me to not come home angry. Yeah. And I want to put this out there. Like, let me tell you, it doesn't matter what I'm going through. It doesn't matter how difficult my day was. It doesn't matter if my hormones are acting crazy. When I see this man, he is my exhale, from the day. Like, when I see him, I'm like, like, thank God. Like, I just get such safety and comfort, from him. And G-Sharp, he knows how to make me laugh, even if I'm not feeling, like laughing. And when I need to be, consoled, he'll console me. And then when I just need, like, I guess, a breather for like 10, 15 minutes or so, he'll let our kids know, your mommy need a break. Go over there, go play. And so I really appreciate that.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. And so with you letting our kids know that I need a minute, and it could be even from grief, but letting them know that I need a minute, that is putting me before our children, so that I can come out and be a better mom, to them as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes we can be overwhelmed with life, at times, and it's a blessing to be able to help somebody else, be stress-free or feel stress-free, or take a moment to take, anything that's on them off of them, and that can go both ways. If I'm having, a tough day, she makes it better for me, so I appreciate you in that area too, man.
And also too, like, G-Sharp is a minister of music, and so he has really long days. Yeah. He'll work his 9 to 5, have to get the kids from school, and then have to go on and do ministry things. And so by the time he comes home, I try to do my best to make it a peaceful atmosphere.
And you do.
Glory to God.
House sometimes clean.
Sometimes it looks like, kids are already in the bed. Grayson usually too sharp. Our son usually goes with his daddy. Yeah. But the girls, they'll be here, and I typically have them in fed, bathed, homework's done. Yeah. G-Sharp, you usually do the homework with them. Yeah. And then we're in bed because we get home at different times. I get home like an hour or so later than you. Yeah. And so, like I said, G-Sharp will do the homework with them. I typically do the baths, and G-Sharp typically cooks while I clean. Yeah. And so we, which brings me to another thing we do, we role share. Yeah. And I think that's so important. Like, personally, I don't know how the baby boomers did it. Like, like a lot of the women stayed home, all day, and the husband was out working. And, the mom, from what we know, never really complained. That, like, she knew what her duty was, and she did it well. Yeah. In many cases. Yeah. But us millennial wives, we need a break. And so, much respect to the baby boomers out there. Yeah. For real.
Yeah, and I forgot I was having a conversation about that the other day, and I forgot who I was talking to, but I was just talking about, you know, how I was raised and how my mom she worked. You know, she wasn't like a stay-at-home mom. So, you know, she was a ER nurse. You know, and so I just remember, you know, my dad 9 to 5, and then my mom doing shift work as a nurse, and the household still being taken care of. You know, so my mama cook and she can throw down, but my daddy also cook and he could throw down. You know, so both of them, you know, held it down while the other one was, you know, at work or whatever it was, and they made it work. You know, they communicated very well, and they still communicate very well, you know. So they are a beacon of light, you know, to learn from, you know, especially with marriage, forgiveness, compassion, just being stand-up people. Yes. They are the pillars in our family. I can honestly say that on both sides of the family. For sure. I love them. Yes. You know. But yeah, they weren't the traditional baby boomers, you know. Both of them worked. You know, my dad worked his tail off, you know, and my mom, she worked for a good little minute and then, you know, got into the retirement stage to take care of our children, you know, and now she's free, really free, you know.
Yeah, because our younger ones are in preschool. Yeah. Our pandemic baby, who was born in 2020, this was actually his first year, and he's completing his first year of preschool. And so, yeah, their gram is off the hook. Yeah. And, yeah, we're truly, truly blessed to have them. Yeah. But I'm just so thankful that G-Shop had that example, you know, to see that his dad was and his mom were, like, sharing, you know, the duties of the household. Yeah. You know, because that could be strenuous on women these days, you know, because these days more women do go out and they work just as many hours as the husband does. Yeah. And, you know, and then to come home and have, you know, all the housework on her shoulders as well, that is a lot.
Yeah, it is.
And I feel like if you both care about each other, you wouldn't want your spouse to be overwhelmed. Yeah. And so I will say this, when G-Sharp and I, when we get home, it is go time. Like, we are focusing on 8 p.m. Yeah. He gets home around 4, I get home around 5. We are thinking about the 8 p.m. mark, because that's our goal, to get these kids in the bed. Yes. And after 8 p.m. and beyond, that's where he can get his time to do, you know, some of his other work. Yeah. I can get my time to decompress, or we can get time to come together. Yeah. And we communicate that as well. One thing about us, we do not pressure each other. Yeah. Yeah. We do not pressure each other, so.
I love it.
Glory to God. But listen, I want to put this out there. We've been married for 11 years. Yeah. So don't think, we newlyweds and we just got it all made. No, we've learned and had much counseling. Yes. And so I just love where we are now. Glory to God. Yep. A bonus tip that we want to throw in here for y'all is to de-stress at your desk. And so this is something that I actually do. And G-Shop, you may do this as well. So this looks like giving yourself short breaks. You know, a lot of times on 9 to 5 jobs, we'll get a 15-minute break. You may not have to take the whole thing, but at some point, just try to stand up, stretch. You may even, you know, want to step outside the building for a second. And, you know, and another thing you could do is breathing exercises. Yeah. I'm an accountant, and, you know, for accountants that work in corporate, for instance, there is a lot of stress and pressures. I don't work in corporate anymore, but I know about it. Mm-hmm. And something that used to help me was doing breathing exercises. You know, as soon as I get an email at one of my older jobs about the tight deadline has gotten tighter, I will sit there and take deep breaths in and out, and, just relieving the pressures and the stress. And so another thing that works for me is creating passwords that make you smile. And so as, I filled you all in on our 10th episode of the first season, my brother went to go be with the Lord. And so something that I do is I will put something that reminds me of him in some of my passwords, and it makes me smile.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. All right. Another tip is to listen to some soothing music. Mm-hmm. I know as a musician that music is very therapeutic. Music can change the atmosphere of whatever is going on in your life or around you. And so music is a powerful tool, we all say that music is a universal language, Music can be played around people who are from different places all over the world, and they can understand exactly the mood of that particular music. So having music to help de-stress you is an amazing thing.
Yes.
I know, as She Sharp talked about, being able to pray to the Lord, on your way home in the car and everything like that. I know for me, if I'm having maybe a rough day or, just aggravated or anything, I, pray to the Lord. And as soon as I pray to him, I put on some music and I'm sitting there just zoned out, enjoying my time on the road, listening to some music. So that is a great tool to use, to help distress you at the desk.
And so that's so good. It's like, in life, and this is something that I think a lot of the baby boomers are great at, that millennials and the Z generation can learn from. But in life, we need to be able to persevere. Yeah. Trials will come. Tests will come. Difficult times will come. Even though, some of us may have jobs that we enjoy, nothing is perfect. None of us are exempt from trials.
True that.
And so, though we cannot control what comes to us, we can control how we respond to them. And so really, listen to these de-stress at your desk tips and try to implement them this week.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I do my best to stick to is to prep for the next day at the end of my current work day. I'll roll Excel files forward to the next date, for instance.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that makes my morning go smoother.
Yeah. Another thing that you can do is talk to a friend. If you are stressed out, make sure that you call that friend who is going to help take you out of that stress instead of putting more stress on you. So, be wise about that, I know she has friends, I have friends that I can talk to, that I can call to make me laugh in the moment, who, typically always, check up on me or I check up on them, So you want that kind of friendship to help you in, the time of need when it comes to stress.
Right. And like a lot of us millennials, we overlap things. And so speaking of friendship, I know like typically on our way home, you're in your car, I'm in my car, you'll be on the phone with like your brother or one of your friends, and I'll be on the phone with one of my friends, and so it's like we have like 30-minute commute. Yeah. Sometimes it's longer than that.
Yeah.
And so we use that time to either decompress, listen to some good music, or speak to a relative or friend.
Yeah.
And so think of some areas where you can touch bases with some of your loved ones. It could be while you're folding clothes. It could be while you're cleaning or cooking. And so there's this running joke on social media that, as millennials, we have to schedule our chosen family outings, which are, for the baby boomers out there, our friends.
Yeah.
The new term is chosen family. And so we schedule the outings 3 weeks in advance. And it's hilarious to me because that's what we actually do.
Yeah.
You know, like we look at our calendar. Hey, are you free, you know, in the next 3 weeks at this time? Okay, cool. And we'll know, you know, to meet up at that date. Yeah. And typically we try to do things that will also include our children, you know, but if for any reason, let's say it's maybe one of G Sharp's homeboy's birthday, for instance, I'll stay home with the kids, he'll go, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Typically it's me going though.
Yeah. Which ain't bad, you know. Yeah. I'm a homebody anyway, so you know.
I am too.
Yeah.
But you know, as a woman, I mean, we always have stuff going on.
Yeah.
You're like, let's do brunch.
Right.
For no reason.
Me and my homie, we doing brunch right here on the other line. Hey brother, what's up, man? All right, talk to you later. That pass.
So G Sharp, if you had more availability on your schedule, what would you do to add more enjoyment to your life?
I mean, more music probably. You know, if I can produce and, you know, continue to create and compose stuff, I would be doing that. I would be adding that to my plate, you know. I get a lot done now, but if I had more time, you know, I'd be, you know, sticking to doing that. So, how about you?
Two things for sure. One is I'd work out. And I know, don't come at me because a lot of the gym rats, is that the term?
Yeah.
They'll be like, that's an excuse. You can wake up at 4 a.m, 5 a.m. No. And so not in a household where you have little children that wake up in the middle of the night screaming for no reason.
Right.
And so I would definitely work out, get some of this postpartum weight off of me. And also, you know, for my mental health. I love you, Faye. Thank you so much. Another thing I would do is create more content.
Okay.
For y'all who don't know, I have my master's in marketing. I enjoy making content. I love it. And if I had more time on my plate, I definitely do that.
Gotcha. That's where some of my time goes to. Editing all of this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a part of my other job. Right.
Yeah, this podcast is definitely a job. And so while we are at the midpoint, we want to encourage you all to subscribe to our channel if you have not already.
Yes.
Please help us get to our first 100 subscribers.
Let's go.
All you have to do is tap the subscribe button and don't forget to like for more. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
And so here are some final thoughts.
Just know that it is great to say no sometimes. I know I had to grow into that. And I know, you know, my wife also had to grow into that, you know, because she is a person that likes to, you know, help out a lot of people. And we both have that. She does it a lot more than I do. But being able to tell people, no, you can't do something, even though, you know, you might hurt their feelings or, you know, whatever it may be, your piece got to come first. Your family has to come first. You know, everything that you're doing has to come before anybody else outside of the norm of your household. You know, so it's okay to tell somebody no. Your job asks you, hey, can you stay an extra hour to do this? You know, communicate that first with your spouse.
Yes.
You know, before you say anything, because, you know, that can be trouble. You know, and if your spouse is not cool with that, and let your people know, hey, I can't work an extra hour, you know, I got to go home and take care of my kids or my wife, you know, whatever it may be. You know, don't be afraid to say no. You know, you don't want to be that pushover, because they're going to come ask you again and again and again, and it's never going to stop, man. Because you have to understand, man, people don't always care about your time. You know, they want you to work and work and work and make sure you get this done for us, but shoot, you got to do for you and your family. So you can say no sometimes.
Yep. So Anthony O'Neill said, here's a simple way to enhance your life. Be clear on who gets your time, who gets your love, who gets your energy, and who gets nothing.
Nada.
And also, too, while it's okay to let, your supervisors, it's okay to tell them no, it's also okay to tell your friends no at times. Yep. And
family members,
it's just, and other obligations. It's the same for us. If our friends tell us no, we're understanding.
Yeah.
And this kind of goes into a future episode with single friends that we want to do. But if you have single friends who are not parents, and then you're a parent, and it's just important for them to be understanding. As to your energy level. Yeah. Like I'm telling you, man, when you're a parent, and it don't even have to be just single friends, but it could be married friends who don't have children yet. Yo, the energy level that parents with children have, who are hands-on parents, is low, fam.
Yes.
Like we're on the grace of God every day, all day. We don't look like what we with the amount of sleep we get.
Right.
But it's just so important to have understanding friends.
Yeah.
And we did an episode on friendship, and we talked about low maintenance friends and versus high maintenance friends.
Yeah.
And so go back and watch the episode in season 1 if you can.
Yeah.
But yeah, this definitely avoids burnout.
Yes.
And one thing about us is that we go hard Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
And so when Saturday comes, that is our chill day.
Yes.
That is, we call it family day. And sometimes family day looks like sleeping, eating, and sleeping.
Yep. Let the kids play with their Legos, let them watch some educational
burn that energy,
biblical videos. And my wife and I are crashing.
We take turns crashing.
Yeah.
But yeah. But no, like seriously, and even like my friends know if I do an activity on Saturday, like 3-4 hours max.
Yeah.
And then I need to be back home resting, because guess what? Sunday is coming, and we're believers. And so, we're going to the house of the Lord. Yeah. And we enjoy that. We benefit from that. So we're not compromising on that.
Right.
And so Saturday, we need to find some time to rest.
Yep.
So we can show up strong in all these other areas to have a good balance.
Yes, most def. All right. And so now we're going to give you some uplifting scriptures. And the first one that I'm going to read, it comes from James 1. Verse 5. Mm-hmm. It says, if you need wisdom, ask our generous God, and he will give it to you. He will not rebuke you for asking.
Amen. And then 1 Peter 5:7 in the New Living Translation says, give all your worries and cares to God, for he cares for you.
Yes.
And so in moments where we feel overwhelmed, we can ask the Holy Spirit for help. And I also want to leave you all with this quote that says, the most successful people have the most stable home lives. That's an unknown author.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we want to thank you for listening to our podcast.
Yes. And so drop any additional tips in the comments below. And also, too, we want to share with you all that our schedule this season is switching up. So what we'll be doing is we will drop a brand new episode every other week. So this week, today, you got this long form episode. And then next week, we'll drop 2 short form clips from this episode, because we know a lot of, some millennials don't have the time to watch this full episode. So we want to try to accommodate all of our listeners.
Yeah.
And so in the following week, you'll get a new long form episode. So Thank y'all for hanging out with us.
All right. And we just want to say peace.